Conclave Geek.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Adam. Today we're coming at you with the review for the season finale of The Flash. First off, take a second. Can we fangirl over this episode a little bit?
It was so many things happened.
So many things happened. So many things were revealed and solved, and this episode just kind of packed a wallop as far as things we got to take in. It was definitely a sensory overload for me, I know, for one thing.
And a reminder why we love The Flash.
Exactly. This is how you finish a season. First thing to start off with, the intro. That was super emotional, bringing back to, the scene of Barry watching his father, dying on the floor in the same house that he watched his mom die, just last season.
He's seen both of his parents killed by speedsters because he's the Flash. If he wasn't the Flash, this would never happen.
Exactly. Unfortunately, it seems that's kind of the same thing with all superheroes. With great responsibility comes no family, no love interests.
You basically have a horrible life of saving other people.
Exactly. If you have a weakness and someone figures out who you are, it's kind of no-go from there. Exactly.
No love for you.
The epic chase scene between Zoom and the Flash, especially where Zoom splits off and, they're chasing after each other, climbing up the side of the building, and amazing.
And then kills himself.
For a second time, or maybe even, I'm pretty sure a second time, right? He kills the one that he pulls into the portal the first time, and then he kills this one again.
He did.
It's understandable why the time wraiths were very after him,
Yeah, messing everything up.
Absolutely. Going back, creating duplicates of himself here and there. I mean, how many times has he done it is what I want to know,
He has no fear of repercussions whatsoever.
Absolutely.
It's all about being the best.
It was very interesting to see Barry's dark side start to come out. Barry's...
I mean, how does it not? You've watched in the last, 2 years is probably how long the 2 seasons would span, I guess.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, you see your parents just dead.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of your eyes.
Leaving you slightly hopeless, I mean, the first time he tried to go back and save his mom, obviously he wasn't able to. He tries to save Henry, and it doesn't work. Absolutely. It was very, very different to see Barry's dark side come out, especially when he's talking to Joan. He's like, I don't want to kill him. I want to watch him suffer, It's very Barry coming to the dark side and Zoom being Vader, just like embrace the dark side.
I feel he just was so irrational. I mean, I guess your father just died, but it was very erratic. I've got to get revenge no matter what.
Which leads me to my next point. We got to see Barry on the other side of the glass in a containment center, And how many times has he been on the side of the glass locking someone away who thought they were doing something for, good reason, or they had reasoning to kill someone, or to do whatever they did. And it's very interesting to see the Team Flash lock him away, for almost the exact same reason.
And I was so excited for them. I thought their plan was awesome.
Absolutely.
However, did we ever consider the consequences for Earth 2? Because we're sending him back, closing the breach, and now Earth 2 is forced to, I guess, self-destruct via Zoom.
True. I mean, and it's not like it wouldn't be something new for Earth 2, Like he said during his little montage, I brought Earth 2 to its knees, but I wanted more. So, to me, if they had left him in Earth 2, I don't think it would have just been like, oh, well, I got stuck here, I guess I'll continue on with my speedster ways. I think he would have for sure found his way back to Earth 1 to stop Barry, or to, exact revenge against Team Flash at the very most.
It was a good plan, very well hatched. However, there would have been repercussions later on to deal with.
I very much agree. We kind of got to see that Caitlin was still very much in love with, obviously I think she still has an emotional attachment to who she thought was Jay Garrick, that ended up being Hunter Zolomon all along. I was really, really worried that her love for him, her lust to be with him was going to throw a wrench in the plan all along. And I think it's better that they used hologram Caitlyn instead of
Oh,
real
most
Caitlyn, because
definitely.
I definitely don't think
She-
she would have pulled
She
it
would have
off.
been dead. done,
Absolutely,
And shaking in her boots like, holy mother.
I was wondering how she had kind of like brought all that confidence to, you know, the front, and how she was standing there in front of him when, you know, last episode she was sitting there, you know, like
Shaking
freaking
in her
out to
boots just at the thought
exactly
of
just
him.
thought of him coming back. You
Yeah.
know, it was had her scared. So it was really cool to see, you know, how they figured out you know, a way to use her as bait without having to actually use her as bait.
And you know, like you said, I kind of thought maybe she had a little bit of, you know, still feelings left for Hunter or Jay, whoever
Jay Hunter.
he is. But we saw very quickly she, you know, overcame that, and that's obviously not the case.
True.
Because there was really no way of saving him. He had to.
He had to go.
He had to
Yeah,
go.
there was no, you know, oh, maybe he can still be a good guy. No, there was none
At
of that.
some point, he was gonna be evil again, and he was going to do bad things again.
True. We finally got, you know, the answers to our question, you know, how Hunter became Jay, and we saw that he did, you know, in fact, steal the identity of Jay Garrick to, you know, finally be the good guy, I guess, as he, you know, tried to describe it. So it was really cool to finally see, you know, have that answered, you know, like how did it all happen, you know, where did it all take place, how did this switch up actually take, you know.
Still a little, like, willy-nilly in my mind. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to
Yeah,
the
right.
inner workings of it. But very cool.
Very cool to, you know, finally get the answers. We saw Cisco, again, you know, using his powers.
He's getting better and better and harnessing them as well as, you know, the Flash has.
Absolutely. You know, it's very cool to see his character developing, you know, over time. Not only just, you know, him being able to open the portals at will, but also, you know, vibing
project
people
onto-
into, yeah, exactly, vibing people into the other worlds is
And he can vibe. He seems to be searching his vibes to find what he, you know, what he wants to know is going to
exactly.
happen.
They seem a little less erratic and a little bit more, you know, he knows kind of now how to dip through them a little bit,
Yes.
it seems, which is, you know, it's really cool because next season, you know, granted, everything that happened, we don't see something different, you know, a different future, you know, so to speak, but definitely can't wait to see Vibe step up into, you know, taking on the name and fully becoming a superhero. I think it'll be a lot of fun to see.
Very cool.
When Hunter or Zoom and Barry were finally, you know, racing towards the end of the episode, we finally see Barry pull, you know, something out of Zoom's bag of tricks and creating a time remnant. I was wondering how he was going to finally take Zoom down. I didn't see that coming out, which I think they kind of kept foreshadowing that with how many times Zoom killed himself. I feel like it was a really big foreshadow into, hey, Barry's going to pick up on this and finally
Use it to his advantage.
exactly,
And he
which
did.
you know, he kind of was doing it from the beginning of the episode. You know, Jay taught him how to harness some of his other abilities, like the lightning throw and things like that. You know, it was kind of stupid of Zoom from the beginning to show Barry all these cool speedster abilities, not knowing at the end that would be his downfall, was
But
showing him, you know.
I think that's what he wanted the best version of Barry, because if he doesn't have the best version of Barry, is he really himself the best?
True.
Got
That, you
to
know, that's a
find
very
the
good
best
point.
To be the best.
Yeah, it was cool to, you know, finally when he did break off and the speed remnant kept going, you know, you saw Barry finally pull out some more of the tricks that he usually uses in a comic book. He does the speed barrage punch where he's kind of like moving around Hunter and he's punching him and stuff like that. He does that a lot in the comic books and in the Injustice video game. That's one of his, you know, super moves, is just kind of barraging people with, you know, punches from every angle. So it was really cool to see Barry's fight style step out of, you know, the very meek and timid Barry Allen to a very angry and overconfident Barry, you know.
It's cool to see. I feel like we don't get a lot of Flash fight scenes. We
True.
see a lot of him dealing with, you know, interpersonal battles and things like that, but we never really get to see him be the badass that he is. And
That's very true.
it's so awesome to see when he, like, actually is, you know, beating someone and kicking their butt and saving the world. It's cool.
Cool to see Barry, you know, step up into being the awesome Flash that everybody thinks he is, you know?
Instead of an emotional.
It was really cool to see when the Time Wraiths came in and finally, you know, get their hands on Zoom. He started looking almost like Blackest Night Flash, you know, all black. He had like the zombie-esque, you know, features and everything start to show up. That was really cool.
My favorite was him shrieking like a little bee.
Yeah, that
like,
yeah, finally, you know, being the weak one or the victim in the whole thing. I don't think, though, we've seen the last of Zoom. I believe just because the Time Wraiths took him off, I don't think
it felt incomplete.
It did. I didn't get the closure of seeing the end of Zoom like we have seeing the, you know, the end of the Man in Yellow and some of the other people he's fought. You know, there was a more finite.
I wonder though, can Flash kill Zoom with his bare hands?
He can. You see him at one point in time. He starts doing the vibrating hand, and he goes to kind of drive it into Jay, or Hunter, but the goodness in Flash prevents him from actually killing, you know, and like we said last episode that we did of this, you really didn't want to see Barry embrace that dark side and kill Zoom, and I only thought that was the only way we were going to see the end of Zoom is just
really thought it would
full
be
on kill mode.
As well.
But it was, you know, it was good to see that he stayed the true good guy and didn't kill him.
We did see here at the end, though, that...
True. We'll get to that, though. We did see, finally, who the man in the Iron Mask was. It was correct that it was Henry Allen. However, this is Earth 3 Jay Garrick, not Earth 2 Jay Garrick, which, to me, muddles the storyline up a little bit more to me. That even more questions, how did Earth 2 Zoom find Earth 3 Jay Garrick, and that whole thing go about. You know, maybe they'll explain it a little bit more later on. Maybe we'll get kind of like something from the writers of the show that explain it a bit more.
Well, possibly similar to how he found Flash, like in the midst of the Speed Force, I guess is what that
True.
was.
He did say he started traveling between the multiverses, you know, searching for a clue to become the fastest, and I'm assuming that's how he found him, you know, just kind of hanging out in Earth 3. It was cool to see Jay Garrick, the real Jay Garrick, don the outfit. I will say Hunter Zolomon fit it way better. It was, to me, it looked way better on Hunter Zolomon as far as it did on Jay Garrick. But
I think it was cool though
to see the true
is a badass.
Yeah,
really.
To see the true Jay Garrick, what he looks like in the comic books, shown, you know, portrayed in the show is great. You know, and I just wonder how many times, you know, John West Shipley is going to be the Flash, because, you know, he was the Flash in the 90s, then, you know, now he's getting to be a Flash again of sorts, so it's kind of cool, you know. I'm glad, you know, we got to see him don the outfit. It was very...
I think we'll see more of him, too. I don't think Jesse and Harrison Wells are out of the picture yet.
True, even though we did see them go back to Earth 2, maybe we'll see Jesse's abilities show up later on. Maybe because of the ending of the episode, it changes everything. We have no idea, you know.
And I anticipate a Jesse and Wally connection, love interest.
True. They definitely seemed very chummy at the end of the episode.
There's definitely some connection there.
I don't think that was the last time we'll see Wells. I really hope not. I truly love Tom Cavanaugh as an actor, and I think he plays a perfect
guy.
You know, he makes a great Wells, and I'm very excited to see him come back later on in the you know, future episodes to see either help out with some other problems, or
I feel as though he's integral to the whole
Team Flash.
The whole team,
yeah,
like he's
absolutely.
a very big part of the Flash. It's like, really, he solves tons of the problems that go on in Flash's life.
Without him in season 2, I don't think would have gotten half as far, nor survived the barrage of Earth 2 baddies that we saw in the last episode.
Yeah.
You know, he was a really key point to stopping all the Earth 2 bad guys, and I don't know if, you know, they obviously probably would have come up with a solution. However, I think it would have taken more time and more damage had been done without Harrison Wells.
Harrison Wells is always the guy that's like, wait, this is what's happening, and this is how we fix it.
Exactly. We got to finally see Barry and Iris connect. You know, they finally kiss. Granted,
Iris makes me crazy. Get over yourself, Iris.
Absolutely.
Like,
He was not good enough Barry wasn't good enough for her prior to this, but as soon as he becomes the Flash, he saves the world a couple times, and she's like, oh, hey, let's give it a go, bad guy, you know, like.
She's always, every time a problem arises, she's like, oh, I'll save him. Oh, I'll be the one to go find him.
But really kind of delivers nothing to Team Flash, I feel. Like, I'm like, okay, other than the fact that you're really good at calming Barry down after everyone else has tried, you don't really deliver anything else to the team, you know?
She's
you bring
like
nothing
the
to the
token
table.
Pretty girl of the show.
She's the pretty girl, you know?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, we're not going to see you do anything good, so I guess, you know, we need something pretty on the eyes.
She'll keep us all inspired.
Absolutely. I think, though, the biggest what the fuck moment in the entire episode was the conclusion of the episode. We see the Flashpoint Paradox come to fruition. For those of our watchers that may not know about a lot of the Flashpoint Paradox, DC Animated has a great animated movie for you to watch. Basically, Flash messes up the entire storyline by going back and saving his mom. We see things like Bruce Wayne dying, Thomas Wayne becoming a gun-toting badass Batman. We see Martha Wayne go insane and become the Joker. We see, Superman never is found by the Kents. He's actually locked away in Cadmus Labs, being experimented on the entire time, so he's not out saving the world. Everything just goes wonky. I believe Cyborg even works for the government as an anti-metahuman task force. So, by Barry going in saving his mom, yeah, he gets his mom back. However, he's no longer the Flash. So, it'll be very interesting to see how Season 3 opens up if we've got Wally West being the Flash now, since he had been hit with the energy and the time frame has changed. Maybe
that's all erased.
Maybe everything is erased. Maybe we will see a completely different speedster altogether, and the Team Flash will have never met.
Totally
this opens up a whole lot of doors. I think, my hat off to CW for being able to throw in Crisis on Infinite Earth and the Flashpoint Paradox in one episode. You guys know how to definitely just bring it in an episode. I am, for one, I think that was this season finale may have even been better than last season's season finale. And that one, I was standing on the couch, jumping, screaming for excitement.
We were so excited.
It was so amazing. And then this season just brought so much, answered so much, but then kind of dropped a brand new load of problems and questions on the table. I'm
on the edge of your seat.
I'm excited to see what Season 3 brings.
And it's going to be cool to see how they bring Supergirl into the situation now that all of this has happened.
Absolutely. How will they explain her Earth, or her coming from her Earth and crossing into our Earth? Will they use the Flashpoint Paradox and the crisis that was happening to the multiverse? Will they use that as the way to springboard her into our world? Would
that mean the end of Martian Manhunter in the Supergirl show?
The whole thing is up in the air now. So I know they're just about to go back into recording Season 3 right now. Everybody's coming back from their break. They're writing it. They're starting to do principal photography on everything. It's going to be an amazing Season 3. I'm really hoping that the Arrow season finale brings also the want and the urge for me to want to watch the next season. I feel like, unfortunately, the writers have geared a lot of the creative juices into The Flash, and we're seeing a little bit of a lapse in the Arrow show. They put a lot of effort into Legends of Tomorrow, and I'm super excited to see the season finale for that. The next season for that, since we've already seen the season finale. So, lots of cool stuff going on in that, lots of cool stuff going on in Flash. I personally cannot wait for the summer to be over so we can get our shows back.
So excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, make sure you guys are checking out AMC's Preacher. We did a video on that, which should be out soon as well. Amazing first episode on that. Can't wait for the rest of the season, and it should hopefully hold us over for the summer and the time being.
I imagine we're getting a lot of good shows this summer. I feel as though there will be a lot more of this.
Hopefully. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check back and make sure you catch the rest of our videos.
See you next time.
You have a great night.